I'll be attempting to run a 1:22 half marathon this December in Australia, in Australian summer. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to go. What even is the average temperature in Australian summer?
Summer daytime temperatures range from 90 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit.
Shit. Today's video is the start of a training series and is also about conquering that incredible distance, the half marathon. In this video, I'll show you how to structure your training, explain to you why the half marathon is such a brutal distance, and much more. Be sure to stay to the end of the video and I'll show you how to calculate your race time. Future sessions will tackle weekly schedules, pacing, nutrition, and the most important, how to flat lay your kit for social media. If you're new here, my name is Connor. I'm a physiotherapist and a runner, and welcome to the channel. Please subscribe for more information. Whether you're a beginner looking to test yourself past 5K and 10K distances, or a more experienced half marathon runner who's done the distance before and is looking to get those extra 1% gains, you're in the right place. This first episode will teach you how to structure your training for both beginners and advanced athletes. I'll be trying to do the advanced plan. Wish me luck. I'll need it. So what is a beginner runner and what is an advanced runner? A beginner runner for me is someone who runs 3 or so times per week and has been running like that for 3 to 6 months, anywhere from 20 to 40 kilometers per week. They've been spending most of their time building their base and not spending so much time doing races and things like that. As a beginner, it's really important to have spent some time prior to going into like a half marathon block where you've been building your base. Now this is very important because what you don't want to do is do what everyone does to get injured, increasing mileage and also increasing intensity at the same time. It's a recipe for disaster. This may be the most common mistake made by beginner runners and always leads to injury. My recommendation before starting this training block is to usually run for maybe 3 months, slowly building up your aerobic base, having more and more time on feet and feeling more comfortable with running regularly throughout a week. Now, advanced athletes are likely to be quite different. I would categorize an advanced athlete as someone who's been running for a year plus, is running 4 times per week, and is usually covering 40 plus kilometers. Now, for an advanced athlete, I wouldn't put a performance or a pace criteria to class yourself an advanced athlete. I would just say that someone who has been running for a significant amount of time with no injuries is usually pretty good for me. So let's use myself for an example. I run approximately 70 Ks a week and I have been doing for about a year and I've not really had any injuries in the last 3 to 6 months. So I would probably put myself in the advanced category. Now you're probably thinking, Connor, you're talking absolute rubbish. Maybe, but hear me out. This study that I'm going to put on the screen somewhere looked at a group of male runners and used 4 different formulas to try and predict half marathon performance times. Both equation 1 and equation 4 were found to have the highest prediction values, which means the following. Athletes with a longer training history, higher weekly mileage or time on feet, and athletes who spent lots of time improving their lactate threshold were found to be the most successful with dropping their half marathon times. So the goal for beginner runners should be to gradually increase their mileage to be able to cover the half marathon distance of 21.1 kilometers. Whereas advanced athletes should be focused on increasing their lactate threshold and their running speed and economy to be able to achieve a certain race time. So for my case, I would be focusing on maintaining my weekly mileage at 70 Ks a week or higher, improving my lactate threshold pace, and increasing my speed and running economy to be able to achieve that distance. So what that means for me for a 1:22 half marathon is to be running at 3:53 minutes per kilometer, which means that my lactate threshold is going to have to be much lower, probably around the 3:45s, which it's currently at. So what makes a half marathon so hard and why is it such a brutal distance? The problem lies with lactate threshold. The lactate threshold is a pace in which your carbon dioxide starts to accumulate in your blood and the hydrogen ions start to accumulate also. This means that the pace is unsustainable and you're likely to only be able to hold that speed for probably 1 hour before you're completely dead. Now, if you're an elite athlete and you run your half marathon in 1 hour or under, you can run at your lactate threshold and probably have a really good race. For us mere mortals, I have to find a pace less than a lactate threshold that I can sustain for an hour and 22 minutes. Now for the advanced athletes, because you're running so close to your lactate threshold, anything like hills or temperature on the day can play a big role in you blowing up and the race completely going down the toilet. And that could crush your dreams, which is terrible. So it's important that you know what your lactate threshold is, and you probably know around the heart rate zones where your lactate threshold tends to be. So here's how you can calculate your half marathon pace. I use the Jack Daniels VDOT calculator. Not only does the VDOT calculator show you your predicted pace depending on the races that you've done previously, it'll also give you training zones for your easy runs, marathon specific stuff, threshold specific stuff, intervals all the way from a mile down to 200 meters. So it gives you a really good idea of what kind of paces you should be hitting for particular workouts. So the VDOT calculator really is the tool of the gods for us people that don't want to pay for training plans. I have the app on my phone, but you can also use it on your laptop. So week 1 of my half marathon plan, it's going to be 5 kilometers easy to start off the week. And then I'm going to do 12 times 400 meters at 5k pace. Then on Wednesday, I'll do 10 kilometers easy. Thursday will be 10 times 1 kilometer at 3:45 pace, which is around my lactate threshold. And then Friday, 10 kilometers again. Saturday is going to be 5 kilometers at half marathon goal race pace, 3 kilometers at lactate threshold, and then 3 kilometers at 10k pace. So really going through the gears and working on that running economy and speed through the legs whilst you're tired. And then I'll round out this, the first week with a 23 or 25 kilometer run, depending on how I'm going with time on feet and mileage and fatigue. So there you have it, guys. That's the video for today. Hopefully you enjoyed and got some information out of it. And I'll see you next time. Catcha.